The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Get involved with Access Fort Wayne and make your own television programming. Call 421 1250 to find out more.
I hear what Betty.
Weimer Skirsch.
Why? And Sama. We got some stuff we want to find out about Too Many Twins today. Tim, Betty, tell us about more what you guys do.
Certainly. It probably would be best if I started with the history, the origin of CTN, so people understand how we're a little unique. We were created in 2000 by other local organizations and local funders because transportation was such a huge barrier for a lot of different people and the organizations that tried to help them. And obviously, if you can't get to those services, they're not going to do you much good. So they decided that they would create a new nonprofit that would deal with the specialized transportation needs of some of these folks, more so than what mass transit like CityLink can do, to cater to and accommodate for individual needs and for group travel needs. So we have been working since then to become a very effective transportation resource for seniors, for people with disabilities, low-income families, children, and youth to reach the services or the things that they need in the community. So we work with various partner agencies. That includes more than 60 partner agencies. I'll name a few because they'll be familiar to folks. There's Turnstone, there's Easter Seals Arc, there's Bright Point through their Head Start programs. Those are three big ones that we work with. Early Childhood Alliance is another one with their daycare centers. There's just a lot of different places that we work with so that their clientele have access to various services. Besides that, we work with certain individuals, particularly seniors, people with disabilities, who need to access health care. They certainly have some health care issues, and they need to get to various services to manage that. And in so doing, they can maintain their health, and they can maintain their ability to remain in their current residence. We don't want the lack of transportation to be the reason why someone would have to give up their home. And that's what we strive to do every day. We're serving, I will say we're empowering over 3,000 individuals to travel in this community. About 700 of those people are the individuals that are accessing very vital medical care. The other people include little children going on field trips, people with disabilities accessing other programs and recreation, and other folks, low-income families and youth getting to various services that will make an impact in their lives. So we're the connection, and that's what we strive to do on a daily basis.
And with your daycare stuff, how does that work? Is there certain daycares you guys serve?
Well, we have various partners, and that's us reaching out to them and them calling us, as far as determining what's going to work best for that particular facility. If they're going to have their own vehicle or they're going to depend. They have so much in the way of travel need that they may want to depend on us because we have the backup fleet, we have the backup of manpower of drivers. So if there's a lot to get accomplished, we may make more sense than having your own vehicle. It's also a better investment by the community to have a fleet that is well utilized. It's not like we're transporting just a certain number of people and then our vehicle's set. One particular vehicle could transport people to multiple destinations in a day's period of time. So we can use a fleet of about 20 vehicles and accomplish 45,000 trips a year. That wouldn't happen if those vehicles were just sitting on parking lots at individual agencies.
That's a really getting back to what the too many needs to transport between the two different things like that. Is there any outreach you guys do?
Well, we accomplish that in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's true that you don't care until you need it. So we want to make sure that we're in various directories and that places like a 211 would be able to refer you to us. We also go to various community health fairs to make sure that people are aware. We network with the various agencies to let them know that we are an option for them, to discuss that with them. We're certainly online. We have an online website at www.ridectn.org, so people can find out that way. And by the volume of calls we get, I think that might be pretty effective because we get more calls than we can serve. And that's the real dilemma for us, particularly for medical transportation, is that that's an expensive program and there's only so many routes that we can afford to put on the road. We have prioritized those who have the most frequent need and trying to plug in those various doctor appointments, things like that. We just don't have the capacity to always say yes, but we do try to coach people when are some peak hours that, try not to get an appointment at that particular time, and we can refer them to some other resources in the community for that particular trip request that we might not be able to do. But for the most part, we can do a good many of them that come in on our lines.
Like, when you talk about the high primarily, what are you guys mostly talking about?
Well, a frequent rider may have a lot of different types of trips, but someone who is going to Turnstone for some therapeutic programs, and that's on a regular basis, same days, same times. Somebody who's going to very critical life-sustaining dialysis would be on pretty much the same schedule, those kinds of things. That's easy for us to get set into the schedule, and they don't have to worry from Monday to Wednesday to Friday. They know they have that booking and that we will be there. I will mention, too, that a big aspect of our service is how accommodating and how friendly the drivers are. That's the most frequent feedback I get. So we have some very trustworthy drivers and drivers who are very nice, very helpful with door-through-door passenger assistance to make sure that people have the help they need to make that trip happen.
Now, Sania, how you feel with riding with CTN?
Well, I found out about CTN in 2000. My mother was driving me to the doctors up until that time because I never had a license to drive a car, and she passed in 1999. I had been hit by a car in the early 1980s, and the impact left me with needing progressive help, and now I'm in a wheelchair. Before that, I was on a cane and a walker, and my beautician told me about CTN, and I contacted CTN, and for a while I rode, when they had a partnership with Turnstone, I rode part-time with Turnstone and part-time with CTN, but I've been very blessed to have CTN all these years because one factor is that I don't have a large income, and when I was taking the taxi cab shortly after Mom died, it was very expensive for me with my amount of income. And so with CTN, I have insurance that co-pays, and people who would like to ride can call in CTN and mention what type of insurance they have. I only pay $1 one way, so that's really good. That's really a blessing. So anyway, for a while I served on the board, and I know that the board members do the best they can to extend the services throughout the community. And one of the things that Becky mentioned that I'd like to highlight is the courtesy of the drivers. And with my multiple health issues, I would like to thank the drivers because I have chronic pain, and they're very considerate at times when I really don't feel like chatting with them. Other times we talk and they're very friendly, considerate, and I really like the fact that they come to the client's doorway, open the door and make sure they're safely in. Then prior to picking up the clients, they will call about 15 minutes earlier and state that they are coming, just in case a person forgot or they're running slow. And so those courtesies really mean a lot.
Wait, when you guys talk about cisterns, is there a certain way you have to use, that hold them or anything?
Well, the driver is standing by and escorts them. You know, sometimes, for instance, somebody who's getting off of dialysis may be a bit weak after that. And so the driver can extend their arm so they have something to hold on to. They may have some extra baggage that they took along too, and the driver can help them carry that. And certainly holding a door, like for Sandra with her wheelchair, it's very convenient to have somebody holding the door as she proceeds through it. And certainly helping them on the lift or helping them go up and down the steps of the vehicle. And obviously the driver's going to do a good job in securing everybody with the safety restraints. We certainly don't want any personal injury while the person's in our care. Sometimes people need a little help to find their appointment spot, like in some big medical office buildings. And we like to be able to escort them because that way we know where to find them too when someone returns for them. So that's just all part of the care, and not making people wait either. We're pretty prompt on that end as well.
Is there certain requirements people have to meet to get your services?
Well, not necessarily, because of the partnerships. Whoever they're wanting to transport, we will accommodate. For the medical transportation, we are prioritizing seniors 60